Just gone 12:30. It's been a special show today, and I have to say a very enjoyable one at that, especially in the company of these two. Paul Ince and Karl Robinson have been with us from the word go at 10 o'clock. We're almost in the home straight. In fact, we are in the home straight. Yesterday, guys, as I was telling you, I was sitting beside my talkSPORT colleague Alex Crook. Where was I? I was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium watching Tottenham lose 2-1 to Aston Villa. In the early stages of that game, it was about how many Tottenham were going to score on the day. But what do you know? It was Villa who left with the points. Struggled on the road, 100% record at home. But John McGinn, the Villa captain, played a blinder, and he was delighted. Although it had its moments, this game, as he reflected on the 90 minutes.
Two completely contrasting styles. The first half they were outstanding. Found it really tough to play against them. We couldn't get out. They had some big chances, a couple of good saves. But they're a top team. There's teams who've come here and really suffered. Obviously watching Postecoglou's teams up north, I knew how quick they would do things. We tried to drill it into the boys, drill it in. They're playing quick. But sometimes, you know what footballers are like, sometimes they don't really listen. So half time we drilled the message into them again. In the second half, it was about us bringing our style to the game, a style that's been successful this season, and thankfully we showed that second half. I don't think we deserved to be level at half time, but I think at the end of the game we deserved to be the winners, because we get battered a wee bit. We were losing every second ball, every 50-50, second best in every area. Second half it was a complete opposite, and big credit to Yuri and Leon coming on. Obviously disappointed not to start the game, but in the second half they were absolutely outstanding, and Yuri's pass for Ollie's world class, and thankfully we managed to get the win.
A change of personnel can make a big difference, and as you say, Tielemans and Bailey, they changed it for you.
Yeah, well, I think a lot's made other teams' injuries this season. We've lost a huge leader in Tyrone Mings, Emi Buendia. We've had Jacob out for most of the season, Bertrand again. Our injury list is long, maybe not as long as Tottenham's, to be fair, and other teams. But we've suffered this season injury-wise, so it's a real credit to the squad. Everyone's standing up to be counted, and like I said, Yuri and Leon are top players. They're international players who can come and make an impact. I'm sure Musa and Kashi will be disappointed, but come next Sunday or Thursday, it will be their chance to shine again. And it's a team thing. The spirit's probably as good as it's ever been here, and hopefully we can carry it on. I know you won't like talking about yourself, but your own form is superb right now. You make a pest of yourself at corners, don't you, with the goalkeeper? Well, I just try and use my body shape. You wouldn't draw an athlete next to it. So if I can be a bit of a nuisance, I mean, I'm standing there, my arms by my side. If the goalkeeper uses two to push me, I mean, I don't think the foul's the other way. I was trying to make that point to Rob as calmly as possible, but if I can carry on being a nuisance, if we can use our set pieces to an advantage and use my backside in some way to it, then hopefully we can keep doing it. John, you've got a 100% record at home in the Premier League. On the road, room for improvement. But my goodness, this augurs well, doesn't it? Aye, it's my job to try and keep a lid on things. The away form's probably been a bit chastening at times. Liverpool, Newcastle, Forest. It's been disappointing. But today, this is a happy hunting ground for us. We spoke about that on the way. Sometimes you get a feeling at places that it's just going to click for you. First half, maybe not. But the home form's obviously something to be proud of. The away form was something that needed addressed, and thankfully we've managed to do it today. How does it feel, top four? Nice, uncharted territory. But like I said, there's huge experience in and around us. They're used to being in those positions. We aren't. So we aren't used to it. It's my job to try and keep a lid on things. We've got some big games coming up. We need to respect everyone, and if we stay in the mix towards after Christmas, then you never know. You know, Karl, I was standing in the tunnel there. Thereafter, Unai Emery, he came over during the interview and then came over at the end, and John and he were locked in conversation. Emery clearly loves him as his captain, and you could hear in that chat with me about how he thoroughly embraces the responsibilities of being captain. And he says it's down to them where they end up.
Yeah, to an extent. He does come across honest, hard-working. He seems to knit everything together. I don't think he's the outstanding player in Villa's side, but he's the one that is almost the guy that brings everything together. For me, the Premier League at the weekend was outstanding. Yeah, it really was. And watching Man City and Liverpool on Saturday and seeing that tactically in front of our eyes, how sort of it moved, it ebbed, it flowed, it was brilliant. But then to watch the game yesterday, the Tottenham and Villa game, that was it was electric. It really was. There was a flippancy to how both teams defended. They were both open. They both had the goal reacher. They both played aggressive lines, and it was a completely different game, I felt, than the Liverpool Man City one. but it was exciting,
Yeah.
and it sort of, as a neutral watching that and a neutral loving football, I thought it was a brilliant watch.
Where are both of you, Paul, coming in this about Ange Postecoglou's philosophy, if you like?
I love it. I do.
Go for it.
I read an article today where a lot of managers turn around and use. I didn't agree with what he said. I don't have the players to play they want to play, and he goes, "Well, just do it. Just take your seatbelt off and go for it." And I think sometimes as managers that we do worry about the negative aspect of our industry, about what can go wrong. And actually, by the time you worry about, Paul was speaking before, but the characters that he played with, the players at Man United and Liverpool and the big players he played with, never thought about losing. That wasn't a thought in their mind. It seems like when he goes into every game, he thinks he can win it playing his way. And that's not overly a bad thing sometimes. I think they've got clear guidelines and a definitive way of playing.
I think when you go back to, no disrespect to Mourinho, about the style of football. Tottenham since the 60s, 70s have always been a footballing team. You know, great players, you know what I mean? Really, Ozzy Ardiles, Hoddle, you know what I mean? You can go on Archibald, you can go on about top players. And I think the style of Tottenham, the fans have been very disappointed and frustrated with it. So I think it was kind of, I wouldn't say easy, but kind of a nice fit to come in.
Yeah.
To come in like Ange has and play the way he is. And I agree with Karl. It's risk and reward. It's risk and reward. And to be the best teams, you've got to take risks. We see Liverpool do it. We see City do it. Not so much on Saturday. It's more like a chess match.
It was, yeah.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
brilliant. Yeah.
And
if Kulusevski's goal going in off the post yesterday in the early stage, a totally different game.
Well, the left back missed after 2 minutes for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Kulusevski hits the post. They could have been 2-3-0 down. And I as a manager, and Karl will probably do the same, we did it together as a team. Even though we win, I kind of look at the whole context of the game, what actually happened, and it's about moments. Well, we could have been 2-0 down here, could have been 3-0 down, Villa could have been. So when you start talking about finishing in the top four, I think, well, just be careful, because you could easily have been lost a game 3 or 4, because goals change games, as we all know. I think it's great that they're up there. I think when you look at Unai Emery, when he left Arsenal, it was a bit of a laughing stock. People said he can't manage in the Premier League. He went away, won another European trophy, come back, and he's learned. He's learned, and I think Villa's a great fit for him. You know, he's improved players, and I'm glad to see where they are.
The only thing I would say, Ange's style, is obviously it's been tested in Scotland, and with all due respect to the teams in and around the two big boys up there, I don't think many teams have an ability. If you play high and you're aggressive, your distances are correct in the final third, not many teams are good enough to open you up. In the Premier League, being so aggressive and being so high and doing things the way you do now, they will be opened up a little bit more. But what I do like about
there's no back four higher than Villa's back four.
No, that's why we esteem it. It was great to watch.
That's the thing.
It really was great. But I think what he has certainly done is the distance.
Who's his Ange?
Yeah. I think the distances that he's created at Tottenham and how high they are, they're going to get picked off. It was the Chelsea game they picked off a number of times, and he just seems to take that.
So does he go for it
that's
next weekend?
Who we are.
Does he go for it next weekend?
100%
against Manchester City?
He will. He will. I don't. You only have to listen to his comments after games and before games. I don't think he sees that any different. I think he believes in his players so much, and players who have played for him. You hear in the interviews, he gives them so much faith in themselves, and then as a collective going into a game. If you start twisting and changing things a little bit,
I'm not sure. I don't think he goes that way against Manchester City. I feel he's got Villa at home, at the London Tottenham Stadium. All right, Tottenham at home, so we can go after Villa. All right, I don't think. Sometimes in football, yes, you have the principles of how you want to play as a team, but sometimes you've got to be pragmatic and think how we've lost the last 3 games. Remember, the last 3 games. Would you go to City and play the way they play? Because the one thing that I've noticed over this weekend's football is that City are ruthless. United were ruthless against Everton. Okay, ruthless. Tottenham wasn't. You know, and that's why I don't think it will go there.
But I don't think we're talking about what we think, but I think he will. I really do.
Because he won't change it.
I don't think I think he said after when they after one of his interviews, he got to send it off in the injury. Yeah. He actually turned around and said, "I will not change." And actually, you've got to applaud it in some ways.
Is that a strength or a weakness?
I think it can be both. I think it can certainly be a strength. I think if you Gaff was saying before about the games, you look at the Premier League season, there's certain games that will win that. And if you have that style consistently over all of the games, and you do win the games that you should win, because that's what that style certainly does. It allows you to win the games you should win. Yeah. But actually, in the games that they are a little bit better than you You've got to accept the fact that you can go to Man City with 20 players behind the ball.
Yeah.
Right? And you might still get picked off.
That's right.
Right? So whether you get at them or don't get at them, they're one of the best teams
makes
in
Manchester
the world.
City, Tottenham, all the more
there's
intriguing.
times to get at them. If you go to Manchester City open from the first minute, you'll find yourself 2-0 down, 3-0 down. The game's finished. Okay? That's when I talk about pragmatism. Just stay in the game for the first 15 minutes. Quiet in the crowd. We've seen Pep talk about the crowd as it is. Quiet in the crowd. Then feel yourself into the game and start playing football. But if you go there thinking that you're going to open City up straight away, it could be a long day, Karl.
The story out of that one yesterday was that Villa did it, and now Villa are top 4.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.